The prison they built for you has become their eternal cage, and there is no earthly key that can unlock what divine justice has sealed forever. Chosen soul, listen with your entire being, because what you are about to receive is not mere words flowing through your device, but a divine revelation that has found you at precisely the moment your spirit needed to hear it. The forces that conspired against your very existence, those who whispered your name in dark corners and celebrated every stumble they caused, are about to discover that earthly courtrooms were never the final destination for their crimes against heaven. Follow this channel and hit that like button, because what unfolds here will shake the foundations of everything you thought you knew about spiritual warfare. They believed prison was a place with bars and concrete walls, somewhere they could escape with enough money, influence, or clever legal maneuvering. But what they never understood was that their rebellion against your divine assignment was building something far more terrifying than any earthly detention center. Every scheme they hatched, every lie they spread, every attempt to assassinate your character was laying brick after brick in a spiritual penitentiary that exists beyond the reach of human pardons. The supernatural realm operates under laws that make earthly justice look like child's play. While they were busy calculating how to destroy you in this dimension, they were unknowingly constructing their own interdimensional imprisonment. Each act of malice became another bar on their cell. Each moment of cruelty added another lock to their spiritual chains. They thought they were writing your obituary, but heaven was documenting their eternal sentence. You see, when someone touches what belongs to the Most High, they do not just commit a crime against flesh and blood. They violate cosmic order itself. They breach contracts written before time began. They defy laws that govern both seen and unseen realms. And the consequences for such audacity cannot be contained within the limited scope of human justice systems. They mocked your prayers, calling them desperate whispers to an absent God. They laughed at your faith, believing it was nothing more than psychological comfort for the weak-minded. But every prayer you uttered was being recorded as evidence in a courtroom they never knew existed. Every tear you shed in secret was becoming testimony in a trial they never saw coming. While they celebrated their temporary victories, heaven was building an airtight case for their eternal defeat. The spiritual prison they are entering has no visiting hours. There are no appeals processes, no early release programs, no rehabilitation courses that can undo what they chose to become. They signed their own commitment papers the moment they decided your light was too bright for their darkness to coexist with. They volunteered for solitary confinement when they chose to isolate you from everything you loved. Make sure to follow along and drop your thoughts in the comments, because this revelation is just beginning to unfold. What makes their spiritual incarceration so profound is that they built it themselves, one wicked decision at a time. Every midnight phone call plotting your downfall was them installing another security system to keep themselves trapped. Every false witness they recruited was them hiring another guard for their own detention. Every altar they raised against you was them constructing another wall in their eternal cell block. They thought they were playing chess while you were playing checkers, but the truth is you were not playing at all. You were simply being authentic, being chosen, being covered by a protection they could not see, understand, or penetrate. And their inability to destroy someone they viewed as inferior drove them to such desperate measures that they began dealing with forces beyond their comprehension. The spiritual contracts they signed in desperation, thinking they were gaining power over your destiny, were actually mortgage agreements on their own souls. They traded their freedom for temporary authority. They exchanged their peace for fleeting control. They sold their joy for momentary satisfaction in your suffering. But every payment they made was with portions of themselves they could never reclaim. Now the repo man of the spiritual realm has come calling, and he is not interested in payment plans or negotiations. The debt they accumulated through their relentless attacks on your purpose has compounded beyond their ability to satisfy. The interest rates on hatred are astronomical. The penalties for touching the anointed are non-negotiable, and foreclosure on their spiritual freedom has already begun. Their eternal prison is not a place they will go when they die. It is a reality they are living right now. Every moment of unexplained anxiety is them feeling the walls closing in. Every sleepless night is them hearing the locks clicking shut. Every relationship that crumbles is another privilege being revoked in their spiritual detention. They are serving time while still breathing, confined by invisible chains that grow tighter with each passing day. The most terrifying aspect of their supernatural imprisonment is that it was constructed using their own materials. The lies they told became the lies that now torment them. The fear they tried to instill in you became the fear that now consumes them. The isolation they forced upon you became the loneliness that now suffocates them. They are imprisoned by their own weapons, tortured by their own tactics, destroyed by their own devices. You did not put them there. You could not have put them there even if you wanted to. This level of divine justice operates far above human capacity for revenge. This is heaven demonstrating that some crimes transcend earthly punishment and require celestial intervention. They are learning that when you touch what is sacred, the consequences are both immediate and eternal. Their attempts to break your spirit only revealed how unbreakable you really were. Their efforts to silence your voice only amplified your message. Their schemes to bury your influence only elevated your platform. While they were focused on digging your grave, they were actually excavating their own spiritual tomb. Every shovel full of dirt they threw at your character became another layer of soil covering their own coffin. The supernatural surveillance system they never believed in was recording everything. Every whispered conversation was being transcribed. Every secret meeting was being documented. Every hidden agenda was being catalogued, and now that evidence is being presented in a court that never sleeps, never takes bribes, and never makes mistakes. What they are experiencing now is not karma coming full circle. This is divine law enforcement collecting on overdue accounts. This is cosmic justice serving eviction notices to souls who overstayed their welcome in positions of power. This is heaven demonstrating that mercy has an expiration date, and once it passes, judgment becomes permanent. Their spiritual incarceration includes solitary confinement from peace, restricted access to joy, limited privileges regarding hope, and complete isolation from the very things they tried to steal from you. They are discovering that the prison they built to contain your destiny has become the cage that defines their eternity. The keys to their freedom were thrown away the moment they chose to escalate from jealousy to spiritual warfare, the moment they moved from personal dislike to organized destruction, the moment they graduated from human pettiness to demonic partnership. Each level of escalation moved them deeper into a prison system they could not see until it was too late to escape. You were their final exam, and they failed with such spectacular dishonor that their punishment had to match the magnitude of their crime. They did not just hurt a person, they declared war on heaven itself. They did not just attack your reputation, they assaulted divine order. They did not just try to ruin your life, they attempted to cancel what God had ordained before the foundation of the world. Their eternal imprisonment serves as a warning to others who might consider touching what belongs to the Most High. It stands as evidence that divine protection is not a religious concept, but a spiritual reality. It demonstrates that some souls carry such sacred assignments that harming them triggers consequences that echo through dimensions. But here is where the revelation becomes even more profound. Their spiritual prison is not just punishment, it is also purification of the atmosphere around you. Every enemy that gets locked away in supernatural detention creates more space for your blessings to flow. Every antagonist that receives their divine sentence removes another obstacle from your path. Their incarceration is your liberation in ways you have not even begun to comprehend. The spiritual realm operates on a system of balance that human courts could never achieve. While they are being stripped of everything they used against you, you are being restored double for your trouble. While they are losing access to the very platforms they used to slander you, you are being elevated to stages they could never reach. While they are being cut off from the networks they used to sabotage you, you are being connected to divine relationships they could never access. Follow this page and smash that like button, because what you are about to discover will revolutionize how you understand spiritual warfare. Their eternal prison is custom designed for each individual based on the specific crimes they committed against your calling. Those who spread lies about you are now trapped in a reality where truth has become their greatest enemy. Those who stole your opportunities are now locked in cycles where success perpetually eludes them. Those who try to drive you insane are now battling mental torment they cannot escape or explain. The beautiful irony of divine justice is that it uses their own weapons against them with surgical precision. The very spirits they employed to attack you have now turned and made them their permanent prisoners. The entities they once commanded are now commanding them. The forces they thought they controlled are now controlling every aspect of their deteriorating reality. You are witnessing something that happens once in a generation, a mass spiritual arrest, where multiple souls who conspired against one chosen vessel are simultaneously being processed through heaven's justice system. This is not coincidence. This is coordination. This is divine timing manifesting in ways that make the impossible look effortless. Their friends are abandoning them not because they plan to, but because association with their energy has become spiritually toxic. Their family members are distancing themselves not by choice, but because something in the atmosphere around these souls has shifted so dramatically that healthy people cannot remain in their presence. Their business partnerships are dissolving, not due to financial disagreements, but because success cannot coexist with the spiritual bankruptcy they are experiencing. The prison walls they are encountering are made of their own choices, reinforced by their own pride, and secured by their own refusal to repent when mercy was still available. Every door that closes in their face is a door they slammed shut themselves through their actions. Every opportunity that vanishes is one they destroyed when they chose destruction over construction, hatred over healing, warfare over peace. What makes their spiritual incarceration so absolute is that it exists in multiple dimensions simultaneously. In the physical realm, they are experiencing unexplained failures, mysterious health issues, relationship breakdowns, and financial hemorrhaging. In the mental realm, they are battling thoughts they cannot control, fears they cannot rationalize, and anxiety they cannot medicate away. In the spiritual realm, they are cut off from the very sources of power they once accessed, locked out of realms they once navigated, and marked as spiritual fugitives in territories they once claimed as their own. You did not need to cast a single spell or speak a single curse for this divine detention to manifest. Your innocence screamed louder than any incantation. Your integrity worked more powerfully than any ritual. Your faithfulness activated heavenly forces more effectively than any ceremony they could ever perform. The most devastating aspect of their eternal imprisonment is that they are fully conscious of what they lost and completely powerless to reclaim it. They remember the peace they once knew before they declared war on your destiny. They recall the joy they experienced before jealousy consumed their hearts. They can taste the freedom they enjoyed before their obsession with your destruction became their own captivity. Their spiritual prison is equipped with mirrors that force them to confront the truth about who they became in their pursuit of your downfall. These are not ordinary mirrors that reflect physical appearance, but supernatural surfaces that reveal the condition of their souls. Every time they look, they see the monster they created through their choices, the darkness they embraced through their actions, the emptiness they cultivated through their hatred. The guards of their eternal prison are the very consequences they set in motion through their rebellion against divine order. They are not being watched by external forces, but imprisoned by internal chains they forged link by link through each decision to escalate their warfare against you. Their captors are their own choices. Their wardens are their own words. Their sentence was written by their own hands. But while they serve their eternal sentence in spiritual solitary confinement, you are being released into dimensions of favor they could never imagine. While they are losing access to earthly privileges, you are gaining access to heavenly treasures. While they are being stripped of temporary power, you are being clothed with eternal authority. Their imprisonment is not just individual, it is generational. The spiritual contracts they signed to attack you have consequences that extend beyond their own lives into the lives of those connected to them. The curses they tried to place on your bloodline have boomeranged back to affect their own lineage. The destruction they attempted to bring to your family tree has taken root in their own genetic line. This is why their desperation is increasing rather than decreasing as time passes. They are not just fighting for their own freedom, but for the freedom of everyone they love who has become collateral damage in their war against heaven. They are discovering that spiritual crimes against the anointed create ripple effects that touch multiple generations, multiple bloodlines, multiple destinies. The eternal nature of their prison means there is no parole board to appeal to, no good behavior that can reduce their sentence, no rehabilitation program that can restore their spiritual citizenship. They crossed lines that cannot be uncrossed, broke laws that cannot be unbroken, committed crimes that cannot be uncommitted. Yet even in the midst of witnessing their divine detention, your heart remains clean because you understand that this is not about revenge, but about justice. This is not about you winning and them losing, but about divine order being restored. This is not about your enemy being punished, but about your purpose being protected and your calling being cleared of all obstacles. Their eternal imprisonment is proof that when God says no weapon formed against you shall prosper, He means it with such finality that the universe itself rearranges to ensure His word comes to pass. You are watching prophecy fulfill itself in real time, witnessing promises activate in the atmosphere, observing divine guarantees manifest in ways that leave no room for doubt. Thank you for staying with this powerful revelation until the very end. Your presence here is not accidental but appointed, not coincidental but orchestrated by divine timing. Make sure to follow this page immediately and hit that like button to help this message reach other chosen souls who need to understand the spiritual realities surrounding their divine assignments. Drop a comment below, sharing how this spoke to your spirit and what confirmation you received. Your testimony could be the breakthrough someone else desperately needs to hear right now.